So basically, I normally get a trade opportunity between 7 and 9 a.m. because a new 4-hour candle opens at 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. is London open. So I'll watch the market from 7 a.m. normally. So I came to the charts at 7:30, and then I saw that price was in a 1-hour bullish FEG, and I also saw that price had just swept 6 a.m.'s low. So I knew that I could potentially form a trade and take a long after I got a 15-minute change in state of delivery. However, this didn't occur as the low that I wanted to see hold after price tapped into the bullish 1-hour FEG and swept sell side liquidity, or 6 a.m.'s low. I wanted to see that low hold, but it got taken. So basically I wanted to see price sweep 6 a.m.'s low and then give me that 15-minute change in state of delivery, but then the low got taken. So then the trade was immediately invalid. So then I knew that I could potentially still frame a trade when the next 1-hour candle opens. So when 8 a.m. opened, price retraced and it had a lot of bullish momentum to it. So this is where I was looking for a potential long after I got a 15-minute bullish change in state of delivery, but instead price just retraced to the bearish 15-minute change in state level and then respected it. So this is when I knew that price was still bearish, because it only retraced to put in a bearish continuation swing. However, at 8:30, price started retracing, and when it retraced and it had that shift in bullish momentum, price also gave me a bullish SMT where 8:30 swept 8:15 on EU, but it didn't sweep it on GU. So basically 8:30 swept 8:15 on Euro USD, but on GBP USD it put in a failure swing or a higher low. And after that SMT, price also gave a 15-minute bearish IFEG as well, where price inversed the bearish 15-minute FEG. But most importantly, what I noticed was that I was getting a 1-hour bullish CRT where 8 a.m. swept 7 a.m.'s low and was about to close back in its range before London opened at 8 a.m. And just like I said, even though I knew, or even though I potentially saw at 7 that I could have gotten a potential trade, as soon as I didn't get that 15-minute change in state and the swing point that I wanted to see hold, as soon as it failed, my trade idea was basically invalidated. And once the next hour opened, like I said, I knew that I could still potentially get a trade. Not obviously, but you're not always going to get a trade, obviously, at your given time period when you come to the chart. You're always either going to get the setup or you're not going to get the setup. But I anticipated that there obviously is a chance that when 8 a.m. opens, it could sweep 7 a.m.'s low, and then I could take a potential long trade. And that's exactly what happened. So I noticed that I was getting a 1-hour bullish CRT where 8 a.m. swept 7 a.m.'s low and was about to close back in its range before London opened at 9 a.m. So during the last 15 or 10 minutes, I think it was the last 15 minutes. It was just before London opened, so I think it was during the last 15 minutes I entered long, because I saw that the bearish momentum slowed down, and immediately where 7 a.m.'s low was, I saw that the 15-minute candle was about to close within that range. So as soon as I saw that, I then anticipated that if that is a bullish C2 closure, I can then anticipate that at 9 a.m. when London opens, that would then be a C3 expansion, where I would most likely get a bullish 15-minute change in state as well. And you can see that I actually entered early. I was looking on the 5-minute at the time, but I basically entered, I think it was the last 10 minutes before London opened, because I knew that price was hovering above 7 a.m.'s low, so it was respecting that level when I knew that I could get on side early. And you can enter after you get that bullish 15-minute change in state, so you have that confirmation. But as you can see, as soon as it gave me that bullish 15-minute change in state after 9 a.m. opened, price had made a very significant move higher already. So then I just got on side early, because my risk to reward also allowed me to put my stop loss at that appropriate C2 level, and then I targeted 2R. So I got 1.66 risk to reward on this trade. The 2R that I targeted did hit, but I basically profited out of the trade and got out of the trade at 16 points, 16.6 points, which is a 166 risk to reward. Not necessarily because I didn't think that the trade would play out already. Just looking at the amount that I got, I literally made 50% of the account size already. So I'm trading with small capital, so I did obviously risk a lot. So then when I saw I made 50% of the account size already, that's when I just exited out of the trade. So price did end up hitting 2R, and it actually ended up going up a bit higher than that. So let me just see, it actually ended up going all the way to 40 points, which is that's pretty good. But yeah, we keep it simple, keep it mechanical and minimalistic. So I went for that 2R trade, exited beautifully at 1.6 risk to reward, and yeah, so that was a trade for today. And I really like that one, because I would say that price action was really easy to read, and I was also able to basically frame a trade off the anticipated C2 level and that bullish CRT level, so that was pretty good.